Hi there, I'm Nivmiz and I like to make games. I recently came across a really awesome indie game called Neon White that gives a great feeling of super fast, responsive movement, and I wanted to make a game that gives you that same feeling of being a speed demon. So for the past couple months, I've been working on a new game with a focus on that one thing: fast, responsive, fun 3D movement. I also want this to be my first commercial Steam release, so subscribe if you're interested in this project and my game development projects in general. Pretty quickly, I decided to use a first-person perspective, mainly because I'm not a 3D artist, and this perspective allows me to make less animations, but also because I think first-person parkour games are really awesome and I want to make one. I also decided what I wanted the main mechanic to be. The player would be able to create miniature black holes that would pull them forward. I didn't want to make the game a first-person shooter though, so no shooting mechanic. The FPS genre is pretty oversaturated already, and I want to make something unique. This was my first implementation of the black hole mechanic. As you can see, it looks pretty bad and it wasn't very fun, but still, I could see the potential in this pulling ability. At this point, I was still using Unity's built-in character controller component, so there wasn't any speed or momentum building mechanic yet. With that problem in mind, I didn't try to solve it and instead started working on the visuals. I got really interested in shaders at this point and made this really nice black hole shader, which I'm quite proud of. It's based on this article on making black hole warp effect, which I'll of course link in the description. After finishing this up, I finally got to working on the movement again. I changed the player's movement to be physics-based, which sounds simple but required me to rewrite basically all of my movement in black hole code. The effort was definitely worth it though. As you can see, the movement is a lot smoother and momentum based now. The black holes basically function as something between a dash and a grappling hook, giving you a ton of freedom to move around it in 3 dimensions. I want the first level of the game to take place on the rooftops of skyscrapers high above the clouds, but placing each and every building myself and manually changing their heights would be absolute torture. So I built this very simple procedural city generator that placed the buildings for me at random heights with just these few lines of code. I also added a simple collection mechanic for these glowing orbs, which I think will be the main mechanic in the final game. Collect a bunch of orbs in a big level while trying to get the fastest time. Yes, the game will basically be a super complicated Pac-Man, but I'm fine with that. Anyway, now that I was happy with the movement and the game loop, I wanted to polish it up a little. A very important part of this game will be the feeling of speed, and that's achieved mainly through visual effects, which is why I'm working on that part so early in development. Here are the effects in action, and it really goes to show how important they really are. The players seem to be moving a lot faster than before, but all I changed was the camera's field of view and added some chromatic aberration. Overall, I'm really happy with how this looks, and I think it adds a ton to the feel of the game. Finally, I used Unity's awesome particle system to add this braking effect to the orbs, and I really like how it adds some punch whenever you collect one. Well, that's all the progress I made on the game these past couple months. It may seem like fairly little progress for so long a time, but because of a bunch of things in my life, I wasn't really working on it very consistently. I plan for that to change though. Like I said, I want this to be my first commercial game, so subscribe to stay tuned for future devlogs, and for the Steam page drop coming soon. If you like the video, and if you have any thoughts or ideas for the game, I'd love to hear them in the comments. Until next time, bye!